UAE to train 150,000 Guyanese coders. All public servants to receive salary adjustment, and another $207 million US withdrawn from the Natural Resources Fund. I'm Enrico Bulford, and this is Uncut News. To see what's happening, send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. Guyana, with assistance from the United Arab Emirates, will be training at least 150,000 school children nationwide in coding. This morning, the president invited students in other CARICOM member nations to also get similar training. With the CARICOM headquarters located in Georgetown, he said our nation would be used as a hub to deliver the training in coding to youth across the region. According to the president, talks are underway with the UAE to have software development become a part of the core component of secondary education in Guyana. With legislation expected to be enacted by year's end, the president hoped that the UAE would assist in the establishment of data banks and data centers in Guyana. Although, while I'm happy for the development, I fail to see the wisdom in training nearly a fifth of our nation's population with a very specialized, high-value skill we barely even have jobs for now, when we don't even have enough jobs to keep our regular UG graduates satisfied. Having already announced major adjustments to salaries for members of the joint services as well as healthcare workers, the president has assured that every category of public servants will be addressed. When asked specifically about teachers, he said they too will receive a salary adjustment, although he does not want to give a time frame just yet. Sinuk Petroleum, Exxon's Chinese partner on the Starbrook block, has donated a complete solar lighting community system to Murakobai, the only indigenous village in Region 5 Mahaica Berbice. The project was commemorated on Saturday, but a core team of engineers visited the village in November to train locals and to supervise the installation. Residents were taught how to safely fix and maintain the lights. Tushao Derek Jordan said this is the company's second project in the area, citing a previous donation of beds to the Maikoni Amerindian Hostel in September 2022. In all, 130 lights were given to the community, along with 8 floodlights for the playfield. 26-year-old gold miner Ravin Moses died on Monday after he was pinned by a tree at the Kupang Bakdam Cayuni River in Region 7 Cayuni Mazaruni. According to reports, an excavator operator was clearing the land near the pit where he was working when the excavator suddenly developed mechanical problems while the worker was felling a tree, and it fell toward the pit, striking Ravin Moses and his brother Shane Moses. Ravin is now dead, whilst his brother is currently hospitalized. According to the High Commission of Canada, merchandise trade between Guyana and Canada was $238.2 million Canadian dollars in 2021. Exports to Guyana for that year were valued at $28.6 million Canadian dollars, whilst imports from Guyana were valued at $199.6 million Canadian dollars, according to the High Commission, meaning that we gave them way more than we actually took from them. The Canadian High Commission was instrumental in bringing together commercial sector executives from Canada and Guyana to launch the Canada-Guyana Chamber of Commerce in 2020. The chamber now has 65 members, having begun with 28 businesses from different commercial interests.
Did you know it's bad luck to start the new year with a Barack truck? Make this a December to remember with Powered Automotive. Powered Automotive has truck parts and spares from all the major brands you know and love at prices you won't find anywhere else. Visit them at 491 EE Eccles or call or WhatsApp them on 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana.
You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info.
Suraj Versamy has confessed to the 2020 murder of his reputed wife, 24-year-old Devika Narindat. Versamy was arraigned for the capital offense of murder. However, he opted to plead guilty to the lesser count of manslaughter, which read that on April 9, 2020, he unlawfully killed Narindat. Not only did he hang the woman, but he then stuffed her lifeless body inside of a barrel. Justice Singh deferred sentencing until next month. Now for today's oil update. The government has made its third withdrawal from the Natural Resources Fund for the year. This is the final withdrawal announced for this year. US $207.6 million has been transferred from the fund to the Consolidated Fund to finance national development priorities. What exactly said priorities are has yet to be declared by the government. In May and July of this year, the government withdrew US $400 million, making the total withdrawn for the year $607.6 million US. The withdrawals were all approved with the government's majority in Parliament. In other oil-related news, the Maritime Administration Department said that Exxon will soon commence exploration drilling operations at the Tar Pond well site, utilizing the Stena DrillMax rig. The well site is situated approximately 122.3 nautical miles offshore and covers an area of 0.29 square nautical miles. Exxon is currently engaged in a 25-well exploration campaign. That drilling campaign is expected to conclude in the first half of 2023, after which a 35-well campaign is expected to commence. And finally, 4 firms are currently bidding for the contract to design, finance, and construct Guyana's first oil refinery. The competing firms are DRL Engineering in a joint venture with Guess, Seoul Guyana Incorporated in collaboration with CH4 Guyana Inc., and Linzeka Inc., Freight & Co. Logistics Inc., and Burpee Screen Refining Incorporated in joint venture with Arc Energy, Polaris CPC, and Barson SG. The proposed facility will be designed to process 30,000 barrels of oil per day and be located on Crab Island at the mouth of the Berbice River. Construction is expected to start by the first quarter of 2023, with a project completion no later than 2 years after the start date.
As an independent online news entity, being politically objective can cost you a lot of money in lost sponsorship opportunities. That's because most local companies are often too scared to associate themselves with a news entity that is uncompromising with the truth. We do appreciate our sponsors, as their support is what has allowed us to maintain our integrity without fear and remain dedicated to you, our viewers. Every night, thousands of viewers rely on Uncut News because they are tired of the biased and poorly presented mainstream media in Guyana. But to truly compete, we need your help to grow Uncut News from being the most watched online news to the most watched news in Guyana, period. Help us by becoming a monthly subscriber today. There are special rewards at every subscription level, including your name in the credits, personalized gifts, and more. Your monthly contribution helps us to stay independent by spending less time worrying about paying the bills and more time on keeping you informed. So click the link in the description of this video and become a subscriber today.
$0.99 million down with around $170,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info. Visit the showrooms at 171 Peter Street, Queenstown. A lot to Amashi.
And tell them to get entry for this sweet deal.
It's December, which means it's robbery season. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now for our Uncut News, Views Poll Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Last night I asked, how do you feel about the government's move to sell the Marriott Hotel? But before we get to that, I'd like to say a special thank you to David Griffith, our first paid subscriber. Thank you for your contribution, and we'll be sure to keep up the good work. King of Diamonds says, I don't think the government should sell its shares in the Marriott. We need transparency. They should lay the cards face up on the table so the majority of us as Guyanese can see what our total profits and dividends are since the opening of 2015. We do not doubt that the Marriott Hotel is a profitable business. No sensible government gets rid of a profitable business. Well, that is unless if they want to sell it to one of their oligarch friends like they did in Russia, but hey, that's another story. Kenneth Basil says, how am I to evaluate whether the decision to sell the government/my share in the Marriott is a good idea when I, a tax-paying part owner, don't have or don't even know of the access to financial information about the entity, and it doesn't seem like that information will ever be divulged, only in Guyana. However, Barefoot Wanderer had an interesting response, saying it's not only in Guyana. Many governments around the world are percentage stakeholders in brands, especially when the brand is first introduced into a nation, to ensure that the government has an invested interest so the brand won't fail. Many governments are also stakeholders of entities outside of their country, although citizens are taxpayers who are never made aware of these investments or the plus or minuses of these investments that they may equate to. But I agree with you. I wish it was shared info. I wish it was shared info indeed. Now for tonight's question. How do you feel about the plan to teach 150,000 Guyanese school children coding? Do you think it's a good idea? Or maybe we should consider some other more practical but just as important sectors first? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Nico Bulford saying good night, folks.